So I'm just going to do a very quick and simple tutorial for anyone who has thin hair, shorter hair, maybe your hair is a little bit slippery, whatever the case. If you have a relaxer, if you have thin edges, and you have some kind of either Bobbi Boss, EZBraid, or any sort of regular standard braid hair that is not textured. If it's not textured and you want to do some twists, some 2-strand twists, and you have thin hair, even if your hair is very curly and coiled, it's still going to tend to slip. So this video is specifically for a hair client. I'm tired, it's late at night, I don't have my makeup done right now. So this is just for a hair client who is in Washington State, and I have 40 of those up, 40 hair clients up there that I left behind when I moved to Tucson. So I'm not giving anybody away, but she wanted a tutorial for twists, and I think it could be helpful to somebody else as well. So she's just been struggling. She's been trying to do her own hair. So this is, of course, for those DIY people. So what I'm going to do, and I just kind of clip back my weave right now. So I have these little edges that are out. What I'm going to do is show you how I start this, how I anchor a 2-strand twist with this really straight braid hair, and I'm going to do it a couple times, so hopefully this is helpful. So the first thing that I do is I get a little bit of some kind of really sticky edge control. This is Black Panther Strong Edge Control, and I'm going to just use that product to make a part, and you can use whatever edge control you prefer, and just to keep your parts clean, and also to help your hair grab onto the other hair, you want to have some kind of a sticky product on it. If you don't have edge control at home, you can use a thick gel. If you have spritz, some people use that, like a pump it up or something. So you're basically just going to get a little section, whether you want it to be a 1-inch section or however big. So you can kind of see that's my little section. It's sticking to my face because of that edge control. So then you're going to take your hair and section out. This is about half of a finger's width or so. It's not a ton, but it's a nice amount because these are medium twists that she wants to do. I'm going to take about 1/3 of that, and with that third, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to lay it over the top of that piece. Grab the piece, lay it over top. You're basically just doing a very small braid, just like you're doing a really small box braid. You're only going to braid this down, however, for about 1 inch. You can even do less than that if your hair is a little curlier. So you're going to braid it about that far. Hold it tight. Make sure it's not going to slip. It should stick with that edge control. Then you're going to take the rest of that piece, the other 2/3, you're going to wrap that around, and you're going to braid with that the tiny braid as your 3rd strand. This is a double, like reinforced 2-strand twist. So again, you're going to just braid down about 1 inch. Then you're going to divide that middle strand so that you have just 2 strands. Get a little bit more of your edge control or gel or whatever you're using, and then you're going to go ahead and twist this each side. You're going to twist all the way down, or most of the way down, as far as you can kind of reach. Then grab the other one and twist. And you'll see that it's kind of like almost starting to like want to twist itself at this point. So you twist down. Like if you relax though, if you relieve the tension, they should kind of wrap around each other. That's when you know they're twisted enough. Then you're going to go ahead and help them get a little bit tighter with the wrapping by actually twisting them around each other. Meanwhile, you are holding those two strands and you're twisting with your thumb and forefinger. Every time you rotate, you're twisting again past that initial part that you had pre-twisted. So you're twisting all the way down, you twist, and then you rotate, twist, rotate, twist, rotate. So you're twisting this one with these fingers, and you're twisting this one with these fingers. And then you can get pretty fast at it if you've practiced. And just go ahead and go all the way down your strand. Now, this one I deliberately left a little bit extra on one side just to show you if you end up with a slightly uneven end, you can borrow a little bit from that other side into the other end because you want the ends to be very even. And if you do that, just continue to twist, and you can kind of make sure that it doesn't interrupt your nice twisting pattern very much. Ideally, you want to have those two sides even, like exactly symmetrical, like in this one, all the way down. But if you kind of like run out of the symmetry towards the end, don't start all the way back over again. Just go ahead and fix it and keep going. And you can kind of see where it is that I fixed that, but it's not noticeable enough to like give up that whole twist. And once you have a whole head of twists, if you have just like a couple of them that are slightly, it almost just looks like a little dent or something, it's really not noticeable at all, so don't sweat it. So you're going to go ahead and keep twisting, and again you roll and then twist all the way to the end. And when you get to the end, sorry, this is really long here, so I'm trying to show you. When you get to the end, you're going to actually, I lost that one. You can see that it's going to, again, sort of like twist itself. You just roll the whole end together, sort of out like that. Now, if you have your first one done, and you don't have anything to clip it onto, sometimes I just clip it onto, like I clipped it onto my hoodie pocket. But once you have two of them done, then you can clip those two ends together. You want to make sure that those ends stay clipped so that your twists do not unravel at all while you continue to do your whole head of twists. All right, so we're going to do that one more time just to make sure that you have that method for anchoring a twist. And you can see that these are not going anywhere. They're not slipping. They're not untwisting. What we're going to do with these ends is we're going to dip them in boiling water. Make sure to look at the fiber directions on whatever hair you're using. If you don't have Bobbi Boss or EZBraid, some of these weird Amazon hair brands out there nowadays are like melting and doing strange things in hot water. So make sure you look at it. If it says like limit temperature 101 degrees or whatever it says, just make sure that you kind of do a test one first. But with EZBraid hair or Bobbi Boss or Kanekalon or anything like that, RastAfri, you can just dip them straight into, boil water on the stove, or set a hot pot or tea kettle out, get it nice and hot, and just dip these in, and you're good to go. Okay, so we're going to go back to doing one more, and again, I'm going to use a little bit of this Black Panther Strong Edge Control in order to find my part. This is why I was supposed to have a daughter, because then I could have done tutorials with her and everything. No, I'm sure that That's exactly why I didn't have a daughter, because she probably would have hated going through all that. I had all boys, and of course none of them are wearing these kind of styles. So yeah, you're gonna go ahead and just get your part sectioned out, clip everything else back. I know it's a little bit awkward because I have all these two bundles of hair in my head right now, but anyway, there you go. You got your little thing. If you stick it against your head, it should almost stick. That's how sticky you want that to be, because it really does help the process. It helps hold it and everything. So you're gonna have that, and again, with your hair package, you're going to take off a nice section, a nice amount, because this is not a Senegalese, skinny Senegalese twist. This is again about half of a finger or so width, and we're going to start again with getting just 1/3 of that. Divide that and set that other hair aside. Take that little piece and you're going to wrap it around, meaning put it on top of that with your thumb and forefinger. Just grab that little piece really tight as you wrap around and under, okay, because you're just making that starter braid. You want to make this nice and tight. And yes, you can leave your edges out if you want to leave your edges out, blah blah blah. I know, I have my edges out. That's why this hair is out of the weave that I'm currently using. So anyways, I'm twisting my edges up for the purpose of this tutorial, and I'll take them out. So this is about 1 inch or so. You're gonna hold on to that while you get the rest of that hair, and make sure to wrap it around the top just like you did that first piece. And you're using now that tiny braid as your 3rd strand to braid. So you're making like a braid inside of a braid, and this is going to keep that twist really secure. Okay, so you go down, again, you don't need more than 1 inch to hold it, and then divide into your 2 strands and go ahead and start twisting. Now you can see that when I'm twisting, and you can continue to use product if your hair gets a little fluffy while you're twisting. This is obviously not Marley hair. Marley hair does not have a problem holding, but this particular kind of hair is like slippery on top of slippery. If you have thin hair, or if you have straight hair or wavy hair or mixed hair, anything like that that is kind of slippery, you might want to do this method as opposed to just starting out twisting. You're gonna have those twists just fall right out of your head, unfortunately. Also, if you do not dip the ends in actual boiling water, if you just dip it in warm water, you will have those ends unravel. Yes, you can also use a lighter, but the lighter method is going to make your hair a little bit more grabby on sweaters and things. And this is fall season, so I know everybody wants to be able to wear their sweaters. You can see that I'm just twisting down, and again, you twist and then twist. So you're going twist with your thumb and forefinger on each side, and this does require quite a bit of hand strength. Your hands will get tired if you're not an actual working braider. But the nice thing about doing your own hair is you can just do a few at a time. And if you want them really tight, you can, adjust. Like if you want the twist pattern to be tighter and smaller, you can do it tighter and smaller. If you want it to kind of be more vertical and a little bit more like of a Like this one is a little tighter pattern than this one, if you can tell the difference. So you can make them smaller and tighter, or you can make them a little bit more loose. They aren't really loose, they're just more vertical. There aren't as many horizontal zigzags across. So we've gotten to the end, and you just keep clipping your ends together all the way down at the bottom, and you just continue. So this is 3 2-strand twists, and you'll just continue to do this all around your whole head. And these, again, I could pull on these all day long. What's going to happen is, you can see my hair is actually going to pull out before these twists actually pull out, and you can see my scalp just pulling out there because that's how secure those guys are. All right, so I'll take a few pictures. I hope this has helped. I do not have boiling water on me right now, but once again, if you unclip those ends and you leave those while you do the rest of your twists, they might start to kind of, you know, get loosened up a little bit. I don't recommend it. Always keep them in a clip until you're able to dip them, and leave them in the clip when you dip. So pretend this is my boiling water. You're just going to like dip it in, gonna take it out, and then you're going to take that clip off and you're going to dip it again. Okay, the reason for that is that the clip is going to make a bend in the hair where the clip is. So when you take the clip off, there's going to be a little divot, little bend, little wrinkle in your twist, and you don't want that. By then they're nice and secure, they're already sealed. So then you just redip to kind of like straighten out that little crimp from the clip itself, and you will have nice twists that will last, should last for a very long time. And twists just have like a nice, almost like rope like texture. They're different than braids in terms of just the pattern, the rhythm, and the texture of the 2-strand twist is just a different feel, a different look. So if that's the look you're wanting, go ahead and try this out. Don't be discouraged if your hair is relaxed, if your hair is straight, if your hair is wavy, if people tell you don't have the right kind of hair for twists. You can do twists with this double braid method that's going to anchor it. So again, even though you can see that little braid at the base, once you get all of these done, you know, you're not going to see that when it's pulled back. Like, it does really blend in nicely with the twist. It's not really that obvious that there's a braid there. By the time you're pulling all these up and doing things with them, they are good to go. So I hope this helps. And once again, this is just for one client. If that client is not you, or if you don't find this video helpful, then move right along. But I like to care for my clients even beyond the term of me working with them directly, because hair is confidence. Hair is, you know, has everything to do with how we step out into the world. And I really want to be part of helping women, especially who are on a natural hair journey, to really step out into the world and feel strong and feel beautiful. And I would love to empower more women to do their own hair, because during these times of COVID, and there are a lot of other times just when we need to save money as well. I haven't had anybody do my hair for like 20 years. So, well, I had one person one time in those 20 years because she offered to do it. But I don't really trust that many people with my hair. And most of all, I just don't want to take the time away from my kids, and I don't want to pay that money. And so if that's you, then you can absolutely do anything to your hair at home. The only cost, like this hair, would be about 20, 30 tops. Well, yeah, between like around 30 bucks for enough hair to do a full head of twists. And you can get this hair on Amazon, EZBraid hair. You can also get Bobbi Boss. It's pre-tapered. It's also known as pre-feathered, which makes those twists have a nice taper. If you don't get hair that's pre-tapered, then you're going to need to just take the hair, divide it at the center, and then you're going to basically pull one strand over, and that's going to taper. So that's how you taper it yourself. All right, so hopefully this has helped. So these are just a couple close-up pictures just to help you see the twists a little bit better, a little bit more clearly. Couple other just comments. If you have a problem with your twists slipping out like this client was having, and she was getting so discouraged, she's like, I'm going to take all these out. I can't find a good YouTube tutorial. It's not working. And I'm like, don't take them out. You know, I'll help you. I'll do a YouTube tutorial. Don't worry. So that's why I'm rushing this one to get it up tonight. So anyway, a couple other comments about not slipping. Get your hair, make sure that you don't use too much hair. So if you have this kind of straight braid hair, don't use a ton of it, because if you use too much, that'll also contribute to it slipping. Number two, of course, as I mentioned, you know, do the tiny braid inside of the larger braid, both for 1 inch. That's the big key. Number three, make sure that you keep those strands rolled in your fingers before you twist them around each other. Don't just wrap them around each other without first rolling them between your fingers nice and tight. And thirdly, make sure that you do clip those ends and dip them in boiling water to secure them and seal the ends. So those are kind of, you know, just the 3 things that really will contribute to your twists staying and not unraveling. So don't give up, keep going, keep trying, keep working at it. And I'm so proud of everyone who is learning how to do their own hair during this pandemic.